Do report writing. So this one's online as well. This is a course that we sell for surveillance specifically. So the investigator must write in a matter to allow the reader to make their own conclusions. You, like I was saying earlier about the beverage, the subject entered the Starbucks and moments later exited the Starbucks carrying a beverage, not a coffee, not a tea, not a hot chocolate, not a latte, not a whatever. Because unless it matters, try and stay away from committing yourself to things that could be redirected towards you as opinions, subjective interpretations, or assumptions, right? Because when you are on the stand, if you do testify, trivial things like that they may decide to say, Jeff, you kept calling, you kept referring to my client over several days going to Starbucks. What were they doing there? Oh, she's buying coffee, or he's buying coffee. Really, Jeff, how do you know my client likes coffee? I don't. Oh, but for 5 days you wrote in the report that the subject, Jeff, can you read page 4, paragraph 2 at 150? The subject exited carrying a coffee. You said repeatedly that my client drinks coffee. In fact, my client is allergic to coffee. Oh, I must have assumed. Oh, so Jeff, you like to make assumptions in your reporting to us today. No, well, clearly you have, right? That's going to be the line of questioning, right? So be careful. As trivial as it may, and in the grand scheme of things, did it matter that it was a coffee? Had no bearing whatsoever. Stay away from the details that get you in trouble, because you don't know. It's not even to get you in trouble. Do you know? And if you do know, I heard him say coffee. Are you 100% sure you heard coffee? Or is it decaf or whatever? It doesn't matter. Those details in the grand scheme, a beverage is a beverage. And if somebody really needs to know, then the onus should be on them to let you know that, hey, I need to know if they drink coffee in this case or not. If they're drinking alcohol, that is something that will come up in some of the domestic situations when it comes to court orders around child custody. Right? We have a parenting agreement that he or she will not use alcohol or drugs while they're in custody of the child, right? It's a very common occurrence. I think this is happening from what I'm hearing, from what I'm concerned about. I need you to tell me. So now you need to go to that restaurant and you need to be aware of what drink they're ordering. If it's a Coke, or is it a rum and Coke? Is it a glass of wine, or is it grape juice? Sounds trivial, but a good lawyer will put you on point and ask you to determine, how is it that you knew that my client was ordering wine? Well, it looked like wine. Did you taste it? No. No further questions, right?
That was a very good cross, by the way.
I've been there. You've been there, yeah. Yeah, that's the skill of being a lawyer and cross-examination, right? But if you don't give them something to work with, then there's nothing to work with. They can't criticize you. They can't call you biased. They can't tell you that you're making assumptions. We all know this is the craftiness of report writing, and you may know it's wine, right? So give me some ideas of what you could say if you wanted the reader to have the same impression that you do, but you literally cannot prove that it's wine. What could you say that wouldn't be considered subjective or opinionated or an assumption that would lead the reader to draw that conclusion themselves without you putting the words in their head? Anybody?
Believed to be.
Believed to be is not bad. It's disclaimer, sure. Yeah, I mean, I use it. It is a good one. I use it sparingly, which we talked about. Yeah. Resembled. Appeared to be. Believed to be. A belief is something that they're generally not paying for. No one's paying for my beliefs. Facts, right? Preferably facts.
Can you just state what it looked like? There's a purple beverage in a wine glass.
Well, that's a great example of direction. A purple, reddish,
or whatever.
In a wine glass. In a glass.
Yeah.
You could say, if you wanted to be, and we're being nitpicky here, but if you wanted to say a glass typically used for wine with a red substance inside. I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
Formal.
Right? But there's probably a better way to say it. And the reader automatically says, well, wine, right? No, I don't know, but
as we discussed there,
yeah,
but even if you saw them for it,
this issue, a lot of it stems from this is the lesser, the easier path of just it was wine, and this is why I find this mistake happens. It's just easier to write wine it's more difficult, like you said, to describe it. So that's why I think I've seen it so often in reports. It's just easier.
Mine's not the best example probably, but along those lines of, if you feel strong that it's important that you're not misleading them, because it's something we all do. We're all going to fill in the blanks for ourselves, and they may be different, but the words you choose have an effect. Ultimately, the video is going to say the video. Ultimately, the lawyers or whoever's adjudicating is going to look at the evidence and go, Mr. So-and-so, are you a wine drinker? Yes. You were drinking wine at this place at this time, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I just had one glass, Versus, are they going to dig in on the fact that there was actually wine in the glass? Maybe. Maybe if it's super important, they will. But how whether a judge or a jury buys that, I don't know, and whether or not it goes that direction, that's more of a legal conversation. But at the end of the day, staying away from making assumptions, at the same time trying to recreate verbally the environment and experience that you witnessed, right? Objectively and not subjectively. So objective, non-influenced by other personal feelings or opinions or considerations, and representing the facts. And if a lawyer had me to read this, I'd probably want to restate what I've just said, because my opinion about something is subjective.